A couple weeks back I posted a video with a hot dog in it. I did that video just to show you guys that I could have some fun. It's not always easy to explain things in a fun manner, but I'm trying to let you guys know that I enjoy having fun too, and sometimes the videos are just serious videos, you know, they're for learning, not really for me to sit here and make you laugh all the time, but I can do that too. So every once in a while I'm going to throw something out there just to show you guys that I do have a sense of humor and that we can have some fun together. On the last video I showed you guys this box here, and I plan on giving this away to somebody. I'm just getting everything set up for that. So pretty much what I'm trying to do is get some money together so I can get some new equipment to show you guys, and I can test some new things out. There's some new things on the market that I really want to try, especially as far as doing stencils. So pretty much what I'm going to do is raffle off this box. So pretty much this box has body butter, stencil solution, both of these I've made myself, hand pokers that I've made in this box right here, some markers so you can draw flash and get your creative juices flowing, and this book about pinups. So we're going to raffle this off, and the way you can enter for that is if you either donate $10, or you can use other ways that you can donate $10 for free. And one of those ways is by going to Gawkbox, but it doesn't cost you a thing. And all you have to do is play some games so you can have some fun and you can help the channel out at the same time. So don't worry about where you live, you can still enter the raffle. I will send this across the world if I have to whoever has entered the raffle and won. So the funds we earn during the raffle will pay for whatever shipping costs. So if you live halfway across the world, I will still send this to you if you win the raffles. I was gone for a little while and I told you guys I was going to make it up to you. And last time I gave you guys some free codes to a tattoo font designer, which is an app that a tattoo artist made, and he asked me to get the word out there about his app. This is what it looks like. It's a tattoo font designer. It can be used to give your clients some ideas. You can save this font to your phone. You can use it for reference material on the go. And what you can do is pretty much type in what you want, Tattoo University, and print it off or save it to your phone or show it to your clients. What I'm going to do is give away some more free codes. Just so you know, the app isn't on iPhones, it's mostly for Android systems. But if you have an iPhone and you want to give the code to somebody else, go ahead. So I'm going to give you some codes again so you can get this app for free. The first 15 people who leave comments will get a code to this app. There's other web pages out there that do this, but at Tattoo University we want to encourage people who are doing new things and encourage people who are working on new designs for tattooing equipment and trying to make tattooing better. And so we want to encourage you guys to download this app and check this app out. The raffle for the box hasn't officially started. I'm going to put that out in the next video. I'm just kind of giving you guys a heads up. Keep watching because the information on that's probably going to come up in the next video. Nick Durant here with Tattoo University, and today I'm going to show you how to tattoo by using a hot dog. What I should actually say is I'm going to help teach you how to avoid mistakes or identify certain mistakes using a hot dog, because the hot dog's going to react like someone's skin would react if you overwork a tattoo. And I'm going to show you this is the problem with beginning tattoo artists, or there's even tattoo artists who've just been doing it all the time and they just don't quite understand that to tattoo without causing a lot of damage, you really need to finesse the tattoo in there. You need to be a tattoo ninja. You need to get the tattoo in the skin and not damage the skin. You need to get in and get out before it even knows you're there. If you overwork the skin, you get these little white dots, and people always ask me, where are these little white dots coming from? That's part of the skin that has been mutilated enough to where it did not heal and it just scabbed up and the ink came out and you have a little white dot. So If you damage the skin too much, you get these little scabs and white dots all over your tattoo. But if you finesse the tattoo in there just enough so that the skin is still alive when you're done, and you've just kind of poked it or gone under it and then made those little tiny holes that the ink likes to stand to, and then the skin heals up around it, you get nice, clean looking tattoos, nice dark tattoos without the little white dots in them. So I'm going to show you what it looks like using this hot dog right here. I've explained this before and using other things, but I'm just trying to show you every way possible so that you get it. Sometimes I show you one way you don't quite understand, so I'm going to put multiple ways of doing things out there that people can see, so it'll finally stick in your head. You'll go, you'll have an aha moment where you go, I get it now. I watched 5 videos and I didn't understand it, but I watched this one video and I finally understand what it looks like when you mess up somebody's skin. So I had this inspiration the other day when I was trying to explain to somebody how to correct their line work in a tattoo. They said that it was really hard to get the ink to go in, so they had to kind of overwork the skin and just having a really hard time getting the ink to work. I explained to him what he could do to make it better, and I'll explain the same things to you guys, and hopefully if he's watching this video, that'll help him understand more, so next time he tattoos he won't have this problem. I looked at the photograph of his tattoo and pointed out certain areas that needed to be fixed. I like to call this reading a tattoo. When you learn how to look at a tattoo and see what you're doing wrong, so that you can adjust how you are tattooing and do better the next time you try to tattoo. I'm just going to use my little homemade jobber here, my Dr. Dental tattoo machine. You know, it's made out of a pen with a guitar string, and you know, there's no need for a really good tattoo machine for this video. I'm just going to use this to demonstrate a couple of points. Okay. You need to have the correct flow. And sometimes when you have your client standing up, you know, when your client's at attention, you have them standing up or sitting in a chair, and you're tattooing their shoulder, right? Your tattoo machine is coming in at an angle. And you're at a little bit of a disadvantage. One, your client always likes to try to move away from you because they can't, because they're getting stabbed with a needle and they want to move away. Sometimes I put them up against the wall so they can't move. They can't move away and they're stuck there. And if they try to move, they just squish themselves up against the wall. They end up trying to like fold themselves in, like implode. They end up imploding, trying to get away from the tattoo needle. So this is the better idea. Lay them down and then tattoo them. When they lay down, they can't move anywhere. They can't scrunch their shoulders up. The natural body position is where they can't move, and you can tattoo their shoulders like this. And your needle is going straight up and down. So what is happening is that your ink flow goes down the needle. Down the needle means once you go into the skin, the ink will go into the skin. The flow of your ink, the proper tattoo flow, you have the proper flow of your ink. It is going to the needle, which the needle goes into the skin, and skin pulls it off of the needle and it comes out. If you're sideways like this, you're going to have flow problems. If you're straight up and down, gravity will just make the ink naturally go to where you need it to go, down here where the needle's at. So lay your client down and then tattoo their shoulder. Plus, sometimes they fall asleep. That's an added bonus. And you can tattoo them without them wiggling around or talking to you. And this is just a better position. The client's more relaxed. They don't wiggle around as much. Get your tattoo table out, your massage table, and lay them down. Tattoo in that direction if you're doing a shoulder. The other issue was that this is the shoulder cap, and here's the shoulder, right? This is a nice, fat, pudgy area right here. As you get to the top of the shoulder, you have your collarbone under there, you have your shoulder bone, you have bones in this area, and the skin is being pulled tight. The skin is being pulled tight right there, right? So just by gravity pulling down and those bones underneath there, if you tattoo over this area, you will end up going too deep sometimes. Just because you're on top of bone, you can do one tattoo and need to adjust your depth. So if you use the same depth and you end up coming over this area right here on a shoulder, you're going to go too deep. And it's going to hurt too. You're going to hit that bone, you're just going to it's like a jackhammer. You hit it and on your tattoo needle, you can feel it, Don't do that. Again, kind of lay them down and be aware that where the bones are at, you're going to have a different depth. So right here is a bone. It's Billy's bone right there. So we are going to tattoo over that. But something, especially the new artists, need to understand, and some of the experienced artists, know this a little bit from experience, is if you keep the same depth and you hit this bone, it's going to hit that bone and it's going to rattle your tattoo machine. And it's going to hurt Billy a lot. So let me show you what that looks like. No, not going to do that. All right, so over here, I keep my same depth, right? And then they call this working off the tip. There's a lot of different terminologies out there, but it means the same thing. What I've heard the most is working off the tip. And that means I'm not going to go my regular depth. I'm going to stay a little superficial. I'm not going all the way in. I'm not going to sink it. I'm just going to kind of stay on top and work it a little bit and try and work it in. I'm not going to ride the tube on this. I'm not going to put this right here and just let that needle hit the bone. I'm going to work it in a little bit. And Billy's skin, I can actually kind of move it off of that bone a little bit and work it off the bone as much as I can. You can hear it. This is why noises are real important in tattooing and let you know your machine's running good. I can hear the difference from down here to when I get to the bone. If I start hitting that, it's going to start going tack, 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 tack. You can feel it. So I'm just going to stay light right here. Stay on the tips of my needles to get this in. There we go. See, and then this area will typically bleed more and scab up a little bit more. I've tattooed people who are so skinny and they're all skin and bones, and it's just hard to tattoo over areas like this because in one tattoo you have areas you can go deeper and then areas where you need to go lighter, and this is a perfect example of that. And sometimes it's going to bleed a little bit more, it's going to be harder to go in, but you just got to kind of work it in there. And if you have to, even come back to it. Get a little bit in, come back later. Just don't bleed. Don't make them bleed right there. Don't overwork that area. And don't just dig those needles into that person's bone. So use your finger, use your depth. That's why I don't ride the tube. Don't stick the needle all the way in there. Leave it out a little bit. So while you're tattooing, if you start to get that tat-tat-tat and you're seeing blood, or you're going over a bone and the skin just is different, you just go out a little bit and get a little surfacey with it. You still need to go the right depth, but just don't go as deep. Go out a little bit for that area that might be over a bone. The other problem is if you're having trouble getting the ink in, you just keep working it. And so everybody likes to crank their tattoo machines up, and this is a little toothbrush machine that I made, and it's got a 9-volt battery in it. So I'm running this at 9 volts, and the needle is one solid needle. So look what happens. If your machine is too fast and you're moving your hand too slow, if you're a professional and your machine is fast and you're moving your hand light and fast and it's going in great, good for you. But if you're not a professional and you're not moving fast enough, you end up cutting your client. You end up filleting your client. It's like a hot dog when you cut it open and you want to fry it. Your tattoo needle is going so fast that instead of poking the skin and the skin closing back up, it's like a scalpel. You just cut your client because it's running so fast. And like I said, the Tattoo Ninja will get the ink in and the skin won't know it. The Tattoo Ninja will get a nice dark line without opening up the skin. This is opened up. Look at this. I can put my finger in here if you guys can't see this thing. Look at that. Look at that. It's open. If you just hit it enough, it stays closed. It's solid. See? You just want to get the ink in there without cutting the person, because then the person will scab up and it will fall out. You want to poke the skin, leave the ink, but leave the skin intact. Another tip that I gave this person was that you can do different motions if you're having trouble getting the ink in the skin. Sometimes I do this on really kind of flabby, hard areas to tattoo that are just stretchy, like a stomach or something. You can do a one-liner where you just run one solid line and you're done. But if you're having a hard time doing that, what you do is you do like a scrubbing motion, a back and forth motion, or little teeny tiny circles. And what that does is it goes over the spot again. It kind of hits that spot, and if it didn't go in the first time, when you go back, you're making sure that it goes in. So here's our one-liner. And see, as the ink starts to kind of run out on this needle, it gets a little light. So what we do is, if we do a little scrubbing motion here, or build up our line, we get a nice fat solid line. Everybody thinks you do these one-liners all the time, which is good if you're trying to just do a little sticker on somebody and get them out of the shop, and it's just real quick and real simple. You do the little one-liner. But if you're being more artistic, you're building up lines, you're making thicker lines. Let's say you have a really thin tattoo needle and you need to build up the lines. Well, then you need to do the circles and the scrubbing motion. You know, because just doing a one-liner is going to give you a really thin, weak line. So I hope that helped. So try those tips, you know, lay your client down on a tattoo bed if you can, so they don't move around on you. Have your ink flow pointing down. If you need to, watch my video on proper ink flow. Add a little water to your ink just so it flows a little bit better. Try different motions. Make sure you stretch. Nick Durant with Tattoo University saying tattoo safe. Be a tattoo ninja. Tattooing's easy. Tattooing correctly takes some skill.